and welcome to Nedsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, my co-host, Jose Romero.
What it is, what it was, all nerds out there. Glorious Nerd Day. Back after, a couple weeks on hiatus, on vacation.
Things to do.
I was on strike supporting the WGA and SAG.
I wish that was true. I wish you would support it. I really do.
I'm supporting my own interests.
Yes, you are. Spoken like a true capitalist, supporting your own interests. And I'm here to tell you, for the
USA,
working man,
baby.
pay your artists.
Oh man, so yeah, it was still on strike. Month 4 or 5. I lost count. I don't even know how long it's been.
Listen,
no
I heard
sight. It's been no end. I heard they're infighting now. A lot of stories about this.
I heard the studios are infighting. The union's holding strong. I even heard people like Snoop Dogg and The Rock are paying for food trucks, as you said, to go down there and help. That's really nice of them. So
yeah, no doubt. A couple people, I heard was it Drew Barrymore and Bill Maher, breaking that line.
That is real D-bag moves.
Well, I'll say this because Bill Maher came out and he talked about it, and he said that he wasn't. The show's gonna be stripped down, right? So
right. It's gonna be just the conversation parts.
Right. Just to get the other people, which we always forget about other people involved in these shows who.
It's the crew, the camera guys, the lighting guys.
They got paid too. Like, if there's no shows, they're not getting paid either. So it's not a bad. I get it, and look, I see both sides of it. It's tough, but
that's a workaround. You know what I will say for because it's going to be just conversation. I'm okay with that.
Right,
because
exactly.
The crew's got to eat. I get it.
They got to eat, man. The production, makeup, whatever. There's a lot of people involved in those shows, man. They all get paid.
You put it like there's not going to be in your rules. There's not going to be a monologue. There's not going to be bits in between. It's just going to be. It's like how you have the Sunday morning talk shows where they have the politician and then a reporter, and they're all giving their take on whatever the days of. It's that, but with Bill Maher doing a dick joke or talking about how he prefers weed or this guy's an asshole verbally. That's
exactly. Yeah, so whatever. Like,
for that to work. Drew Barrymore, on the other hand, I kind of feel is a dirtbag move.
I didn't know what she's doing, to be honest with you. So, and I didn't know she even had a show. When did Drew Barrymore have a show? I don't know. What's this world coming to?
Seriously.
Okay. I didn't know that. I was like, well, she's got a show. I didn't know where is it on. I didn't even know, dude. I have no idea.
It's a daytime. It's a daytime. It's like, are you sick?
Like a network show? Like
a network
ABC
daytime. Yeah, like Ricky Lake. It's that slot of time.
I had no clue.
There's only so much Wheel of Fortune you can watch, so you would then go to that.
Yeah, working a day, so I guess I don't watch that TV.
See, that's why you don't know.
So,
on the other hand, no Drew Barrymore show quite well. So.
Fair enough. Good for her. I don't know, but yeah. That being said,
I know the show. Not a fan.
No, I suspect who would be a fan. Drew Barrymore, really? Okay. Either way,
it's getting numbers enough to be. It's not on its first season.
Well, right. So yeah, people obviously like it. Or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of shitty things on TV.
If you're sick and you're drinking chicken soup, it is a show to watch when you're half knocked out on Dayquil.
Fair enough. So, congrats to those who enjoy the show. You got something to watch. That's new. Either way, like I said, a lot of stuff to talk about. Some trailers dropping. We got more Ahsoka, a couple of little small tidbits. Not a whole lot of nuggets, but it is what it is. But I ran to the store before a couple hours ago. I know I sent you the itinerary for today, and this wasn't on there. I just found this kind of funny. So, have you ever heard this movie called Origin that's coming out?
No.
You haven't heard about it. You must be a racist and sexist there, Eric. I hate to break it to you.
Why?
Well, because according to Ava DuVernay, of course, she's the director, who's a decent director.
Sure.
Selma, what was that series on Netflix, which I really liked. About the five kids who got accused of raping somebody, and it wasn't them. I forgot the name of it, but whatever. She had Wrinkle in Time, which was not good, but whatever. So apparently she's got a new movie called Origin, Eric, and you should know about it because clearly you are a racist, man, and I'm ashamed to be in the show with you because according to her, race, she says, this is a direct quote, sexism, racism, to blame audiences for not being being more excited about Oppenheimer than her Isabel Wilkerson biopic Origin. Go figure. I never would have thought that would be the case, but we're all racist. I everyone saw Oppenheimer was a racist. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Wait, time. We've expounded on her library of work,
Mm-hmm.
and the only movie I generally know, only two movies, is Selma and A Wrinkle in Time.
Correct.
Versus Memento, the Batman trilogy, Inception, Dunkirk.
True. The Prestige.
I mean,
come on, man. I mean, listen.
Insomnia. Like, I mean, there's a big difference between knowing your projects versus that. And who's in the movie? Who's in Origin? What's the cast?
I don't know. I saw a trailer the other day. It wasn't a great trailer, and it's a biopic that Isabel Wilkerson. I didn't know about, and I'll probably watch it. I guess she was a black reporter, the first black reporter to get the Pulitzer. That's what it entails. She wrote a book about racism in the country, whatever, something like that.
Sure.
It just got premiered at I want to say it's Cannes or the Vienna.
Did it get a 5-minute standing ovation at the end?
Oh no, I was curious. I was let me check out this. People reviewed it, and it's got a 78%, decent.
All right,
but not exactly stellar. It's fine.
Right.
It's good. It's a good score. It's a good score. But come on, I mean, see, this is what I really the race. Well, look, Oppenheimer is Oppenheimer. And only one guy would have made that movie big, and that's Nolan. Let's just make it perfectly clear. That's an anomaly, right? Because nobody interested in seeing a biopic. They're not, right? No one goes out and watches movies, whether the black or white. It doesn't matter. Nobody watches movies in period. Oppenheimer is different because of Nolan. And let's be honest, that marketing campaign, the whole thing, that Barbenheimer, they rode that wave, right? Let's be honest. That movie still would have done very well, not 900.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Oppenheimer did better than any DC and Marvel film this year. Who would have thought that?
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But so for her to come on and say, "Come on, stop!" It's ridiculous.
Listen,
people don't watch a movie because the movies maybe it's good or not, but because nobody cares.
Listen, I love calling people racist and sexist. I just do it for fun. I do it like as a way to say good morning. Like, good morning, hello, racist. Like, just it throws people off their game. It's great.
Why not? I get it.
If you want to have fun, call your black friend a racist and just watch him be perplexed for a minute. Like, what me? I'm like, yeah, you, and then walk away. Don't even explain why. It's hysterical. Laughs had by all. But that all being said, there's a lot of movies I don't even know are out, and so you can't blame me. Like, do you know how long it took me to figure out everything always all at once? Like, I took forever. Like, if it wasn't for you, when you brought up, I was like, you know what? I think I saw a trailer. You're like, dude, you gotta watch it. Like, it was. Yeah. So I'm not, and it's a great movie. I was bummed that I didn't know about it sooner.
It's marketing, and I don't want to hear that. It's nonsense. Because she's black, nobody cares. Stop. It's not true.
Hey, I care about the Marvels. It's got 2 people of color in it and an alien.
Well,
I'm in.
I don't care about the Marvels that much, but I'm gonna watch it.
I care about it.
So despite that, I'm gonna watch it. Blue Beetle. Maybe it's true. Nobody saw Blue Beetle, so maybe man, racist. Oh man, who is it? I just directed. People don't. The last people you blame for people not watching a film is the audience. Zack Snyder had the same way. He talked about Zack Snyder months ago about people didn't understand his film. Stop.
Oh no, we got it. It just sucked.
We got it. Right? Yeah. People like Origin. I'm sure it's a great film. I haven't seen it. I don't know, but the interest is not there because nobody cares about those movies and it's not being marketed.
I'm such a nerd. When you said Origin, I mean the origin of Wolverine. Are they doing that movie? Is that what it is? Like, no. All right.
There's a lot of good origin stories, and this is one of them. But yeah, so that thought I sound like, come on, it's ridiculous. Stop it. Nobody cares about Origin. Yeah. Sorry. My bad. Oppenheimer was good. I'm gonna tell you, it's life. But that being said, let's move on to stuff that I think we should care about. Not right now. But we will soon because this movie was delayed, and that's Deadpool 3, unfortunately.
Right.
In the middle of it being filmed or whatever, production. But a little rumor crept up. I'm like, what the hell? Let's talk about it.
Nothing else going on, really, so why not?
Well, why not? We got Liev Schreiber, if I'm saying his name right.
Yes.
Of course, who played Sabretooth in the original X-Men. But he is truly better known for Cotton Weary, for their early screen films. God damn it, gives man his credit. But apparently the rumor is he's coming back as Sabretooth, making a cameo.
First of all, wait, you got it wrong. He was not the original Sabretooth in the X movie. He was the original Sabretooth in X-Men Origins.
Origins, the real Origin movie.
So that's the origin origin movie I know.
The real origin movie.
See how the correlates connects,
right?
Right.
So I corrected, right. So yeah, he played. I'm sorry, yeah, my mistake on that one. In Origins, of course. So he's coming back. That's room for jokes right there in that film right now.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that's just that's actually kind of good. I like that because that with Wolverine and how shitty that movie was, and they already made fun of that. Deadpool made fun of himself.
Right.
As he played. That was the movie where he played the shitty ass Deadpool.
Yeah.
If memory serves, which no one liked. But probably because they're racist, so I'm just throwing it out there.
And sexist.
And sex, clearly, with Deadpool should have been a woman, apparently. But yeah, to see you hear this is good, right? I like this, if this is true. But it's not bad. It's just kind of get a deal where this movie is going, man. That they're going to really just go all out. And they should.
I really hope that they give Liv Schreiber the chance to be the Sabretooth. An actor of his caliber should be able to pull off.
And he's a good actor.
That's what I'm saying. He's a great actor. That TV show he was on, Roy Donovan, that was great.
That was good. That was like a Showtime. That was a good show.
Yeah, Showtime. Like 4 or 5 seasons. Great series.
It just sucked that, listen, that movie, Origins.
Wolverine Origins is horrible.
It's horrible. And, so he got lost in the shuffle and he goes down with the ship. I mean, they all did. So did Ryan Reynolds. They all got blamed. Yeah. And, he made up for it. So I like that's cool. Give him my second shot. Bring him back. I don't know if it could be a quick cameo. Who knows?
I like that this movie is giving all the people who got dicked over by crappier movie versions a chance to just have a little fun and a little bit like, hey guys, we all did our best. And we're having a little time to shine just a little bit. I think it's cool.
Yeah, everybody fucks up. It happens.
Sure.
Not their fault. That movie being shitty had nothing to do with Wolverine.
That's all
Jackman
studio.
And this guy, that was that movie's really shitty, man. God, thinking about it.
Really bad.
I was excited about that film, too. Oh, Wolverine, yeah.
Whenever people talk about, Love and Thunder was garbage, I'm like, you don't know what I've seen. You don't know where I've come from. That movie was not good. I've seen bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's one of the...
None of these characters have nipple costumes. Don't talk to me like you know what's going on.
That's true. Oh, man, yeah. With those, I mean, as far as like Mount Rushmore of shitty superhero films, Batman and Robin, their face is on there. No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if this is on there. This is bad, but I don't think it's on there.
No.
This is not. It's terrible.
I mean,
we've seen worse.
It's maybe bad. The fourth one, right behind Blade Trinity.
That's an interesting question. So for sure, Batman and Robin is up there.
Easy.
Maybe Green Lantern.
Green Lantern,
potentially.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure. There's been so many shit. The Fantastic Four.
You know what? I thought Fantastic Four had a little charm. Had a little charm. At least it was trying to do something.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I gotta. This is one I gotta think about. Like, this is my last shit.
That'll be a fun game. Fun game for the next episode.
Maybe Mount Rushmore. You know what? We'll circle back. Mount Rushmore. We'll circle back on this. I know, guaranteed, Batman and Robin's up there. I don't care what anybody says. That'd be that's a George Washington face. But we'll circle back. Actually, we'll play with this. I gotta think about it. It's just a lot of crap. There's a lot of crap.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah. We've seen things. Yeah.
Right. Sometimes you get some. It's a shitty movie. We're not thinking about right now.
Superman 4.
That's potential. That has a lot of potential.
That's what I'm saying. We've seen things.
No, it's bad. I guess we'll circle back on that. But I for sure know Deadpool 3 would not be on the list, or I hope it's not on the list.
Not at all.
Despite Disney's shortcomings as of late. This is shit proof. I think so. I
as shit proof as you can get.
As you can get before watching anything of it, yes, no doubt. But that being said, let's stick with the MCU, and it's not quite shit proof these days. And let's be honest, it's been on a little bit of a downswing, and we got some further news about further movement and things being held back or whatever, strike or no strike. So they came out. I guess they reshuffled the whole TV lineup. We know Loki's coming out. Nothing's changed, obviously, right? Which is, I didn't know, is the most watched MCU show thus far. I guess I'm not surprised. So I think that the trailer got out of hype and whatever. So I'm looking forward to that show. Right after that was supposed to be Echo being dropped.
Right.
All at once, right after.
All at once. Just dump it. Like garbage into a dumpster.
Yeah, they're dumping it. But apparently they're saving that garbage for January. Which makes no sense.
Dump most garbage.
Right, exactly. January's a dumping ground of Hollywood. So that's getting shipped over to January. I don't think anybody's sad about that. What If is being pushed out, I think, through the 23rd at Christmas time. if I'm not
That's a great
mistaken.
way to put, a great place to put it.
Yeah,
Cartoons, Christmas,
yeah.
yeah,
Like I said,
right.
it's fine. I wasn't a huge fan. It was fine. It was
Sure,
okay.
I
Um,
was, but
I got pushed back, but who cares? Wolverine and not Wolverine, X Men. I hear good things about. Got pushed
so do
back as
I.
well. I think they greenlit a season 2, so that's a good
Yeah,
sign.
they're already
Yeah,
the
yeah.
scripting. Well, they were
Well,
scripting
right.
season
It's
two.
in development.
Right.
Whatever stage of it, who knows, right? But at least they got greenlit, so that's a good thing. So I have confidence in what they have in the first season. Um, Obviously Daredevil postponed indefinitely,
Yeah.
and Ironheart is the interesting one, which actually completed filming, but they taken off the list. I get Daredevil,
Really?
and what's the other one? Wonder Man. I think it was the other one.
Wonder Man. Right.
They're both still filming, so I get that's expected. But Ironheart, and I did read that it had completing production on that, and yet still they're holding it back.
I have an idea.
That's a bad sign.
No, well, no. I
That's a
actually think
bad
it's a
sign.
good sign
Hmm.
because
Is
they
it?
are going to make sure that no one gets to complain how bad the CG was. So they're like, we're going to take our sweet ass time so it looks dope. So people can't say, oh, it was good, but the CG was rushed. So we're going to take
I
our
think that's gonna
sweet ass
happen.
time.
It's gonna be this is shit, but the CG look really nice. That's what I think the
Oh,
show's gonna
I
be.
hope not, man, because that
Um,
would be such a heartbreaker. Oh, that'd be
I
such a
don't know. I
heartbreaker.
don't. Well, I just maybe this is not a whole lot of excitement for that show. That's not a character that really popped from Black Panther. It really
Right, it
didn't.
didn't pop the way they wanted it to pop.
Right.
If
It's
they
like
would have said a Namor show, I think it would have been more hype about it.
exactly. So this one, it's gonna get swept under the rug, and maybe they release it at some point. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are for the show, but it's kind of puzzling that it's done and they haven't given it a release date. But Daredevil, man, I keep hearing maybe 2025, late
Oh,
2026.
that's a heartbreaker.
It's a while. It's gonna be a while. I mean, again, how long is it gonna last? I don't know. It's been 5 months. So yeah, so that's interesting news there. Let's talk about trade. Let's talk about a show that's definitely coming out.
All right.
This is interesting. This is one. It's funny because I remember we talked about this when we started doing on the audio version of the show, and I had mentioned I think Peter was on the show with us. Peter Santa Maria, Attack Peter. He's a huge Godzilla fan. He's in the know. He's out. He was at the time. He was out working out there, and he didn't even know the show was coming out until I brought it up. This is a little bit of a nugget we dropped before it's even announced, and that's the Godzilla, the Monarch show on Apple Plus. Apple Plus is
yeah.
never afraid to spend a little money. That's for sure. And it's also Godzilla 1 that came out like last week. Another trailer.
Was it 1 or 0?
Oh, 0. Is it 0 or 1?
I think it's 0.
But
I think it's 0. But
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those, which, gives a quick teaser. But this Godzilla one out, because I was curious to see if they were going to, continue that continuity, whatever. We've seen the Kong with Godzilla and, whatever. And apparently it is, so I guess it's in the same world, right? Same universe, using
Sure.
the same with the Monarch, the company, whatever. Saw some of the same characters.
Monarch is like the shield of the Godzilla.
Right? The umbrella from Resident Evil,
right?
That kind of thing. We got Kurt Russell. Come on, bro. That alone just makes it awesome.
So I hope he does this. I hope he does his best Snake Plissken. I want a good Snake Plissken kind of commander.
That'd be kind of nice.
It's like Nick Fury's got the eye patch.
That's true.
Cigar.
That's true. He was the original Nick Fury.
Yeah, I mean, no, Nick Fury was before Snake Plissken, but in
on
film,
film,
yes.
on
In
film.
comics, and no.
No,
So,
obviously, yeah, I got you. Of course.
all right.
So this came out. So this is in the same world. It looks the production is top notch. I mean, they spend money.
Apple is not scared about putting money, even if it's not good. He'll put all the money into it.
They don't care. They don't give a fuck. So your thoughts? You saw the trailer. What do you think about this one, man?
You know what? I kind of like it. If the feel. Okay, do you remember the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from Marvel? The series?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do remember that.
But remember how it was supposed to be like adjacent to all the Marvel movies? Like, you were supposed to be like, they were telling the stories in between the movies, or that's how they sold it to us. I feel like this is the show that's actually going to do the thing that the S.H.I.E.L.D. show promised to do, and only did it for one season.
That's right. You're right. Absolutely right. And yeah, I think it's going to tie in. I mean, listen, this movie's weren't great. Let's not kid ourselves, right? But they were fun, right? The first Godzilla was
fun. Yeah, straight up fun.
Whatever. Like, King Kong one was really fun. I like that one. What I listen to Apple. I love Godzilla, so I'm kind of curious what they go out. I'm going to tie all this in. I know we got another Godzilla or Kong film coming up, right?
There's what's the one with the turtle with the horns?
Oh man, I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name, but
yeah, there's he's
right. There's a
coming
movie
out
coming
too.
out, right? So
Right.
maybe this all
So
ties in or something. Who knows?
here's
So
the thing. I'm hoping that what this TV series does is something that fixes a problem that every every monster movie fan has. I don't want to see people. I don't care about their
oh,
personal lives. I want to see monsters beat the shit out of each other and
true.
destroy everything. That's
Well,
what
at
I
least
want.
I don't. You know, this could just be Godzilla here, and that's fine. But I want to see Godzilla. I mean, look, the trailer
So,
show more Godzilla than the first film did. I think,
but
so
here's what I'm
that's a good
saying.
sign.
If the series just put all the human shit in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when the movie comes out, it's just monsters. That's all I need.
No, that's what we need. You're right, and that's always been the issue with
So
this
that's what I'm saying.
or
If
yeah,
the job of
Pacific
the
Rim.
show is we're going to put all the human stuff here, so we can give you more monsters, I'm in.
No,
That sounds great.
no, I agree. So this, I'll be okay. I mean, I want to see Godzilla here too. I don't want to be a bait and switch. You know,
Right.
it shows Godzilla and he's like in the last episode or something, some nonsense.
Well, I mean, listen,
You
this
know.
is the Monarch show, so I'm okay with human people
No,
doing
no,
human drama
no,
stuff, and then
totally
a
fine.
monster in the background here. I'm okay
Absolutely.
with that. What
Yeah.
I'm not okay with is you give me an entire season of human people, and then you give me more humans in a monster movie. No,
Right, no,
then
no.
I have a problem.
No, of course. But I'm curious. This is in October, so it's dropping pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken. But it looks good. Listen, Apple's got some good stuff on there, so why not? For those of you who have Apple, it's actually one of the cheaper services, one of the better ones as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of good shit on there. DC. Let's make the rounds here. We can't leave DC out. Poor DC, right?
Or DC.
DC's
What
getting
did they
kicked in
ever
the
do
nuts.
wrong except everything?
Except everything, you know, and this, man, it might get really bad. We might touch on that in a second, but let's start with positive DC, potential positive DC. So Giancarlo Esposito, Gus Fring, he's in The Boys. I love him. I think he's great. He's fantastic. He's always a great
Grand
Mandalorian.
Moff Tarkin.
That's right.
Or Gideon.
No,
Grand
get
Moff.
it. Yeah. He's always great. So apparently, there was always rumors that he may have been, Professor X or Magneto or something, which would be great. I think that'd be great casting as far as I'm concerned. But apparently, according to him, it's a direct source. It's not a rumor. He was at some con fairly recently, and they were talking about it, and he mentioned that he did take a meeting and spoke to James Gunn about a DC role. That's all he said. He didn't get into any details, which I didn't think he would. That's interesting. I like that because I think he's great. If he's not going to be in Marvel, bring him in DC. He can now have enough talent. So I ask you, Eric, who should he be?
I already know.
Oh, look at that.
I already know. Fucking Brainiac.
That's a thought that crossed my head.
Just that cold, calculating, I do a horrible John Esposito, so I'm not gonna even do it. But picture his voice like in any scene, that cold, methodical voice that he did in Breaking Bad, and then imagine him addressing a Kryptonian as he's shrinking a planet down or a city out, and he's like, all this is for nothing. I will live forever. You will die someday, and you will be an asterisk in the history of my collection. Like, I would love to see him as Brainiac. To me,
that'd be great. I mean, it would make sense because obviously the only thing that's really being done or has been done is Superman Legacy.
Right.
But I mean, listen, he can do whatever. I don't really care. I don't know if maybe something in a Green Lantern Corps. That show's coming out.
I mean, he could be Sinestro too.
So that'd be great. I mean, I hate to typecast him as a villain, but he's just so good as a villain. Fuck.
I mean, if you want to do hero,
or hero, someone
there's only one hero I'd like to hear him do. It would be a Darth Vader situation where they get a dude physically, and he would be the voice.
Okay.
Swamp Thing.
That could be interesting. You know what? That's actually outside the box, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Yeah. That voice would obviously he wouldn't, vote on the suit or costume.
He could play Alec Holden, the Doctor.
Right.
So you see him there, and then goes into. So you got a bigger dude to physically play it. He just does exactly what they did with Lawrence Fishburne with Silver Surfer in the second Fantastic Four movie. Mm-hmm. He just does the voice, and you got a body actor.
Yeah, of course.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it works great because he could do all the cartoons and the video games, and you don't need the body actor. You just have him do all the voices.
That's true. Actually, that's interesting. I think this is hopefully. I mean, we'll see if it materializes to anything. We don't know. Him having a conversation doesn't mean he got hired. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But that's good conversation to have when you bring him to the room. James Gunn, make it happen. You need a win, dude. You need a win because you got a big fat loss coming up in the form of Aquaman.
Yeah.
Trailer just dropped. They had a teaser to the trailer. I hate when I do that shit. Just fucking drop.
I
the
like
trailer,
it.
Man.
I like it.
God, it's annoying. It's like, can we get the trailer?
It's like if you're getting ready to go on a date and the girl you're dating sends you like a photo of like her in a skimpy outfit, like, hey, look what's happening there. I'm like,
you get more out of that than you do out of the trailer. This one in particular.
But then you meet the girl and she's got bad breath and IBM, and you're like, oh, this is not what I expected.
That could very well be Aquaman too. So yeah. So the trailer dropped. I mean, listen. This is before we get to the trailer. We all know this is not going to do well. It's just not. Listen, the last 5 films, none of them have broke for DC anyway. Have not been broken 400 million. They've all pretty much tanked. All of them have tanked and like big time.
But the last Aquaman made $1.5 billion.
Right. It has that.
And I hated it. I enjoyed
it. I didn't hate it. But
I did.
$1 billion. I don't know how that made that much money at all, but
I still blows my mind. Somebody's soul got sold. Somebody's child was sacrificed. That's the only way.
I don't know. Maybe all the racists came out and want to see Aquaman. I don't know. Apparently, because it is what it. Listen, it's the most successful movie that they've had.
No black mermaids.
That's all Black Manta was there. He lost. They were all cheering. White supremacy.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You figured it out.
I mean, it's such an odd thing, but it has that going for it. But even with that, I just don't see this movie making money. At this may open less than flat.
Well, I think it's one of those where it opens high and then the second week there's a massive drop off.
Maybe I don't know. It comes out in December
because listen, you and me are involved in this. We know people who know people. They tell us things. If I didn't know anything about what's going on behind the scenes with this movie and I just saw the trailer, I'm like, well, that's cool.
Right. Fair. That's fair. Yes.
So, so because of that, there's enough of a percentage of people who are like, oh, I remember this. I saw the part 1. Why not? And they'll go in.
You're maybe right. I mean, listen, the first one I remember because it was, and this is another weird part about the film. It's Christmas time, so I know Christmas is the box office is a little bit different. People out of school.
People are with their family, and then they don't want to be with their family. They want their family to shut up. They're like, oh, cool, 2.5 hours, and I don't have to hear them. And I get to see pretty things, and maybe that'll be the thing I do.
I mean, this movie opened at 50 million. Not great, right? But it just ended up still making $1 billion. So talk about repeat business and
absolutely.
I mean, which is the strangest thing, right? Because I guess I enjoyed it. Obviously, a lot of people did too, because it made $1 billion. This one may open at 50, but it's not going to do a bit. This movie is not going to sniff a bit. If it does, oh my God, it'll be the biggest shock in the history of film.
I think it'll probably make half a bill.
I don't think it breaks 400 either.
I think it'll break 400 only because
I don't know. Maybe it does.
People who saw the first one wanted to see it, and then it bottomed me out because
I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I said I'm not gonna be shocked if it makes 500 million. I'll be shocked if it makes 600-700.
Yeah, I'll be super
shocked, and I think that'll be kind of a win. This movie's gonna lose tons of money. If those who not know the history behind what's going on with the production of the film has been a disaster. How many reshoots? 3 or 4 reshoots.
So many reshoots.
Very expensive. That they've tinkered with the film for obvious reasons, and maybe the quality and/or just trying to not make it connect to anything down the road. Yeah, James Gunn, I heard, took out scenes with Batman with, I think, Ben Affleck was the original film. I don't think he's in there anymore. I don't know. So it's got all kinds of production issues. There's a lot of rumors about the people saw at the screenings, and it was terrible. It was unwatchable. And I've talked about something that we learned about him and the son. It just sounded stupid. All kinds of things. Plus, on top of all of that, which is funny that they gave her a quick half-second of screen time. That's, of course, Amber Heard.
Miss Amber Heard,
which no one likes, and she had always showed, Johnny Depp. It's been disaster.
Nobody wants to hear from anymore.
Right, nobody wants to. No one
wants to be heard from.
She's probably worse off than Ezra Miller. At least Ezra Miller was more behind the scenes. She had a public trial that lasted weeks, 2 trials, and a Netflix documentary. It's a disaster. It's a recipe for disaster.
Which, by the way, because there's so much attention on her, there's going to be that curiosity factor of like, oh, let's see how bad she is in this movie.
I don't know, because I think people, and I know people, and I've heard of people didn't want to see it because of Ezra Miller. I get it. Fine. I think this movie's going to get some of that as well. Amber Heard is the worst. Toxic,
absolutely.
Whatever. And there's no question people are going to, and I get it. Refuse to see the film, whatever, fair enough. Do what you got to do.
At least we know all these sexist racists will watch this movie
They're definitely
because
gonna
they
watch
didn't
it.
go to,
So
they
yeah,
didn't
it's
hear
like
about Origin,
yeah,
so this is the movie they're
Origin,
gonna watch.
Aquaman. Come on. But let's just focus on the trailer itself. Forget the noise, all this noise out there. Did you like this trailer at all? Honestly,
Like I said, if I didn't know about the behind the scenes stuff, I would be like, well, that's cool.
I don't know, man. I just
I mean, visually,
it's
it
hard. I mean,
looks
because
cool.
I can't separate it. So I'm like, I'm in my head, I'm
See,
thinking disaster, and I think that I'm just so biased because I mean, we know so much shit. Like I just
you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. You are a recently married man, and I am a divorcee. I know how to separate things through just survive and experience an emotional disconnection, if you will. And so, because of that, I can go, well, on the surface, it looks cool.
yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not great. If I mean, I don't think it looked
Yeah,
great. I
there's no
mean,
scene that makes you go, oh man,
right.
I gotta
I
see
will
that.
say this though, because I kind of scratched my head. There's a scene because it's got some kind of dopey humor in there, but there's a scene where he's washing his clothes, where it has it hanging in the clotheslines. I guess why he's washing the costume, but why dry it? What's the point? You're going back in the water anyway.
Human tradition.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking about like,
Hey, listen, once
do you
again,
have to dry your clothes? You're gonna jump into the sea with? I don't know.
talking
Whatever.
about the worst movies we've seen. Batman Forever. Robin does kung fu to dry his wet clothes. So I've seen laundry scenes that don't make any sense.
There's
That
no
was the
argument
least
there.
bothersome.
There's no argument. Listen, I'm curious, man. You know what? I think I'll say this. I know it doesn't make more than 500. Let's not do it. I'll be shocked. It makes more than 500. I really would.
It's gonna barely pass 500.
Let's
It's
just
not
run
gonna
around
be a
there.
lot.
And I don't think it even matters about the quality because we've seen these DC films that are good. We like Flash. We like Blue Beetle.
Blue
And
Beetle,
Shazam, I liked.
Flash looked good when it wasn't about the Speed Force. Blue Beetle looked good from top to bottom.
Right.
It's for overall. It's just people aren't connecting to the
Nobody
stories.
cares.
People
Right.
aren't connecting to
No one's
what
going.
it's doing. So
Exactly. It's not that people go I'm sure enjoy it when they go see it, but they're not going to go see it. They're not going to the theater.
right,
They don't care Shazam the same way. I like Shazam too. It wasn't as good as the first, but it was
right.
enjoyable. But
So it was enjoyable.
nobody went to see that
Absolutely.
film. I mean, Aquaman could be great. I don't think it's despite that, no one's gonna give a fuck. I just don't care.
Yeah,
DC's in the tank, and it is what it is. And James Gunn's got a long road, and at least
he's
finally, once this is done, we'll have a year and a half of no DC to kind of cleanse the palate.
that's the best part about the strike is you're
Right,
gonna have a
exactly.
longer
Yeah,
delay.
long
Same
run.
thing with Marvel. Like we were talking about how like
Well,
does
Marvel still
Marvel
has
need to
movies
take a
coming out. They got 3 movies coming out next year. They haven't delayed those at all. So DC's got nothing. I mean, Joker doesn't count. That's not a DC film.
right? It's a
DC,
separate.
right,
But Marvel doesn't. All three movies from Marvel have been delayed as well.
No, we still got just one.
Cap's been delayed. Thunderbolts has been delayed.
Cap. No, that Cap. They postponed all. They just moved them all over. So they still got Cap coming out next year with Thunderbolts
If they're lucky,
and Deadpool.
they still got to finish a ton of filming.
Deadpool's the only one that's not. The other ones are finished. So other production work is people who aren't striking.
Oh, I thought, yeah, Thunderbolts has still a lot of filming to do. They haven't finished that. They haven't finished. They cut Captain America filming in the half of it. If we're lucky, it was half of it.
No,
So
I heard that was in the can. The only one that was still filming was Deadpool. That's
no,
what
I heard Captain America and Thunderbolts still had filming to do.
Let me let you know right now. I'll look it up right now.
Right.
Because they just announced it like a few months ago. Not what in the midst of the strike. If I can find it, I'll find it. But see, we knew about Marvel's Echo. Who cares about Echo?
I think the one good thing is Marvel's going to be forced to slow down. And we've talked about this, about the way things are going with Phase 4. Marvel take a pause? And now they're forced to take a pause. And I think that's going to be the most beneficial thing for them.
But
is the stronger break.
They got stuff released. They should just not release anything. That's my thing. Just like DC, just give it a year rest.
Well,
give
listen,
a rest.
Listen. Wait. Here's the thing. If you have a decent, not a semi-decent, but if you have a decent product and the world's going to be starved for entertainment, take advantage of it.
No, it's just, I think people, they're not going to these films for, I mean, this is across the board, right? A lot of these big budget films, no one's going to go watch. Clearly racist. But nobody, Nobody saw Blue Beetle. These are all good films, right? Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see it. The shows aren't getting great views. It just nobody's watching them.
But
People just
that's what I'm saying. But now, if you
people are
start
tired
to,
of. But people are tired. I don't think it's superhero fatigue. It's mediocre movie fatigue.
I agree, and
So,
that's what I'm
but I'm
saying.
saying,
If the
but even
movie's good,
but if you say
if
it's
the movie's
halfway decent is good, it's just not good enough.
no, I didn't say halfway decent. I'm saying at least decent.
No,
At least decent.
That's not good enough. That's just not. Blue Beetle's decent.
True.
Nobody cares. Nobody, and it's just like it's just you've seen this all these movies before. They want something special. Give them a break. You cut them off for a year and a half.
Yeah,
they're really gonna be starving first because if you release these films and they're okay, it's just gonna add to the here we go again, another okay film. People are just gonna be reluctant to go see these movies because, why am I spending $20 for a decent movie? Right? It's decent,
Sure.
fine. I'm not saying they're bad, but nobody cares. So I wish they all took a break, but whatever. Marvel can. I know DC is going to because of how things work out. I think that's gonna bode well for them. It really is. Like you're gonna have break no DC shit, no madness, and just get hyped for Superman in 2 years. I'm sure that's probably.
I mean, if it works out that way, it couldn't have worked out better for them.
No, yeah, they said that this may have benefited them more than anything as far as the strike. And if they delay Superman, fair enough, delay it. 2026, that's fine. 2 years, good break, come back strong, and let's see what happens. And let us wash out this taste of the Aquaman and all this past DC shit. That just didn't work. It didn't work. Speaking of working, not working, debatable, Star Wars. So Ahsoka, a couple episodes that have dropped since we last have reviewed the show, and we were both on board. Not great, decent. Right there we go.
Decent.
Right, mediocre. Decent. It's fine. Mediocre.
First 3 episodes,
we're fine.
Decent.
We're fine. Nothing special. Just no one terrible. Some shitty shit about it. Some good stuff about it. Whatever. It's a mixed bag. We talked about. I think you wanted to see Thrawn episode 4. Didn't happen.
No, I wanted Thrawn episode 5.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen. 6.
But
probably not.
But
7. I snip it.
Wait. You're bearing the lead here. I thought I needed to see Thrawn to make episode 5 good. That's what I thought. Originally, from episode 3, I was like, by the time 5, if it's not a great episode, I'm going to need to see Thrawn or I'm out. I believe a version of that was my original statement.
That's fair, although I'm going to say you didn't get a great show either. Listen, I get the people, it's funny because I'll say this about the whole, particularly episode 5. Oh, it's so great. Listen, just because they gave you member berries doesn't make the show great. And I don't understand how you have everyone. Let me finish. Anakin Skywalker is still shit. And I don't get, it's like having I'm a big sports fan. You have a player who, high draft pick, who sucked, was terrible. 10 years later, everyone's praising him that he's the man. Nothing changed. He still sucked. That character still sucks. That whole dream sequence it did nothing for the show. Answered nothing. It's nonsense. It was 30 minutes of nonsense. It looked cool. Yay, we got a little taste of the path and Clone Wars with 8 people have seen the Clone Wars, which no one's watching this show because they don't know what the fuck is going on. And I did talk to people who have not seen Rebels. They are bored because they can't connect with what's happening. And I get it. This show's meant for 20 people to watch, which is why 20 people are watching it. And those are the ones that are kind of enjoying it. The show is too inside baseball. The character, Ahsoka, all she can do is cross her arms. You do a drinking game, you be fucked up by the first 5 minutes. That's all she does. She's not likable, and that hasn't changed. I get all the cool fighting, and that's great.
I disagree.
I like all that.
I disagree. I felt that
but she's not likable. She hasn't done anything likable. And Sabine was not a good character. We didn't see her last episode. It's just that the whales are ridiculous. It worked in Rebels as an animated show. As anime looks great. I know your attachment, but you look at it from an outside perspective. Anybody watching this show doesn't know anything about the whale, sees that, and it's ridiculous. People I've talked to say it's ridiculous, and it is. I'll deal with it because I've seen it, and I'm familiar. Hey, Rebels, cool, but it's dog shit in Rebels. It was just in Rebels. It's silly, as animated, and the animated show has been far superior in terms of the characters than this show. It's not the same characters. It's not, dude. It's not. Don't tell me Ahsoka's the same she was in Rebels. She's not. Neither Sabine. None of them are what we got off a better product. So now they've lowered the quality of the characters. It's even inarguable. Go back and watch Rebels. Those characters are fun. It was entertaining. Nothing here. You're given a second-rate product with some member berries, And I told you about Thrawn. You're gonna see him episode 8. I'm telling you, he's not gonna be shown. This is a whole one big setup for this universe Dave Filoni's doing. Jon Favreau got pulled off the project because they can't agree. I know why they can't agree, because he thinks he's shit. So I get it. So it's all Filoni, who just stick to animation. He can't do live action. His writing is silly, uninspired, and it's okay. It's just at best, it's mediocre. Cool fighting or not, it's fine. I don't need a 26-minute dream sequence that led nowhere. It led nowhere.
You're wrong, and your hat's silly.
Nowhere.
Let me explain something. Let me explain to you how a big brain perceived this. This episode 4 was better than average. Like if episode 1, 2, and 3 had been a 7, episode 4 was like 7
cool action. People, it's like you get fooled. You get fooled by lightsaber action.
This episode 5 was a major character development. Nothing got
developed. Nothing changed. She's let
person. She's let go of the fears and the resentments of her master and what it meant. She's been, the way they recontextualized it is they basically gave her a Gandalf the Great, a Gandalf the White moment, where she has accepted who she is and let go of oh, it's my fault, like the survivor's guilt that she had over what Anakin became and how she wasn't there to be involved in it. And I thought it was a brilliant way to bring closure to that part of her character and have her start to become lighter.
She was already lighter in previous iterations in the live action show and the cartoon than here. I told you this from the very first episode.
They're going to get her closer to the cartoon now because of this.
No, but they dumbed her down. Even from they lowered the character so they can do this arc, this fake arc, because they took a character which was likable, made her unlikable, so they can change it, and y'all go, oh! I told you and now you fell for it. From the first episode, I said we both said that. You agreed that it wasn't the same character, and we said they're dumbing it down.
Yeah, I agreed. It wasn't.
So they give you some kind of
and now they're getting
a farce arc
to the character I want her to be.
Right, but we already had her. That's how we've already had that character in Mandalorian. We had that character. They stripped her down, not to bring her back up to what we've seen. I don't understand. It's just it's nonsense.
Listen, I can't. If this is what they did to get her back to where I want her to be, I'm happy with it because they're getting back to where I want her to be.
She was already there. So and the time from Mandalorian to now,
already
something
there.
happened
but
to her.
Since she isn't, now she is, and that's good for me to want to watch the show.
No, it's like you're taking a character we've seen and you totally change them in the future. It's not like a past. It's not a flashback where she used to be this way. She was a certain way. They brought her back down to a way she does not exist anymore, just so you can bring her back to the level which we've seen her at, which they have. Filoni has given this character to us, and he completely changed it so he can put in this stupid scene to bring her back to where she was. So something happened between Mandalorian and now. Guess what happened? Nothing except shitty writing. Shitty writing. And I said that from the very first episode. The very first. It's not new. This is not news. And I said they're going to dumb it down so they can do the arc and bring her back. I called it.
I said you're right.
Right. And that's shit. But that's shit.
But my concern was, I was like, I don't know how they're going to do it. And I got to tell you, because we both knew it was going to happen, I liked the way they did it.
That's still shit.
It's not still shit if you at least you're exexecuting at a competent level. A competent level.
But you're making something competent out of something incompetent you did on purpose. You did an incompetent decision to bring that character, completely change her for no reason, just so you can bring her back. Dude, no. That's not how it works. That's shitty writing. I'm sorry, it's bad writing. I'm sorry. We see if we had never seen her before, fine, but we have, and they gave us that certain character in a same.
But wait a minute,
series.
Your complaint was this show is too dependent on series that nobody watched. So since
nobody's watching this show, the same people watch the show watch Mandalorian. I promise you that.
I heard that this episode is getting more views than all the other previous episodes.
Because it's getting a lot of hype, and Anakin Skywalker's there, and all. And I get it, but you can't survive. I keep saying they're going back to the well. They don't know what to do. Let's bring back. There's all these characters. No one like that. I don't want to hear this nonsense. All of a sudden, he's the man now. He
Oh no,
sucked then.
I thought Anakin was garbage, but
but nothing shit. But now people get excited when that character was garbage.
You and me,
they're so hungry to see something that they recognize.
You and me have said this before. Anakin the prequel sucked. Anakin terrible. In Clone Wars is dope.
But this is not Clone Wars.
And they're giving me Clone Wars Anakin, so I can't complain.
This is the same Anakin we've seen. It's just people get excited. Look, people get excited. He came out, big reveal, and people are gonna watch it. People
he didn't tell. I hate sand. It wasn't that. It was not prequel Anakin. It was Clone War Anakin.
Shitty
Clone War Anakin.
Same shitty character that nobody liked. Nothing changed.
Disagree.
He gave us 5 minutes of a fight scene. Nothing changed. And a fight scene which is done superior in the shittier movies back in the Sith.
I was not only impressed with the lightsaber fighting because it mirrored a lot of the stuff from the prequels, but I also liked the little girl who was young Gamora in Infinity War. She was actually impressive with her fight scenes as well. I was like, this is great. I like that. Like I was in it from off the. I was already excited seeing Anakin at the end of 4 because I was like, oh, this could be good. I wondered if they're gonna take my hopes up and then drop it, and they kept it up the whole time. So I know. Is that the way I would have done it? No, but since this is the route they chose,
I know, but I'm not gonna like it because they chose a route, which is that they chose a bad route.
They chose a bad route, but that episode was good.
It was again. It's just nothing to get excited about. There's no stakes. Nothing changed. The story didn't move anywhere except now I know where they're going. They could have just done that in 2 seconds.
Well, they did go. They did change. She's now ascended to her white form, and now they're going to they're going to go
from the beginning if that was going to be the case.
Once again, you're complaining about how, and I'm complaining about the execution of the moment. So in this episode, it was done well, and things changed and things happened. You're complaining about
because the course of the show from the beginning was bad. I don't care what you do, it's bad. You can't course correct something that just shows shitty. Which we said in the very first episode, and I said, I'm afraid this is gonna happen, and I said that I'm not gonna go back and say, oh, now I'm happy that happened. No, it's shit because I knew it was gonna happen. Just because I did it well, it still happened. I didn't like it was going to happen. Doesn't matter how they execute it. Did this execute?
It does, because if it was executed poorly, then it would just be a reaffirmation that they have no idea what they're doing. But it was executed really well.
If you have a bad idea, you execute it well. It's still a bad idea. Nothing changes. You just executed a shitty idea to begin. That's great. Great job of doing your best you can to take something shit and make it less shit. It's still shit. I said it. I'm not going to say that. I can't like something which I knew I called. I'm not going to sit there and say, well, you know what? They did it well. It's a bad idea. It was a bad idea from the beginning. They went ahead and did it anyway. I don't care how it could have been the greatest writing ever in the whole time. It took something fantastic, a shitty idea, and turned it into a less shitty idea. It's still shit. Nothing changed, dude. I'm sorry. The character is not likable. She's not. She's done nothing to make you like her. Nothing. What she did? Rode a whale. Great big fucking deal. Which is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
My whole thing is, I would have loved to have seen. This is the way I would have structured this series so far. Episode 1 is her going to the planet to find the orb. On the way to the planet, she's remembering all the stuff that she's gone through to get to this point. When she gets to the planet, because of the dark side energies of the Night Sisters, she gets sucked into, just by walking, she gets transported to the world between worlds. It's the whole thing between her and Anakin. And by the time she gets out of it, she feels changed. She finds the orb, droids jump her, and then when she takes off her cloak, she's in the white.
And that's
how I would have done it.
But again, you do it from the jump.
That's
what I'm saying, right? So you can't course correct that. If they'd done it from the beginning, great. But they didn't. They chose to wait 5 episodes of a character who's just not likable to give us something they should have done, or not even done, but they're gonna do it early. It doesn't change the fact that it's just bad writing. Dave Filoni does not know what he's doing. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He doesn't write well. He does write well because this episode was written well. You don't like how it was delivered. But the episode itself was written well. It was performed and produced well. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. I don't care. Again, you work enough shit. I don't care how you dress it up. Put a dress in
Listen,
the pig. It's still a pig at the end of the day. It looks
we're
nice.
we're gonna have to agree that you're wrong, and
No.
so
I mean, you
so
may
that's,
say that, but the viewership has gone down. So you may love it. Nobody's watching.
but we just talked about how this episode is getting more viewers.
People have
so
talked about it. Doesn't mean that people are watching it because it's the vocal minority, like the ones who hate the shit on things, all these fandom that's out there, toxic fandom. Those are the ones you hear. Those are the ones you hear. Doesn't mean that everybody hates it, but that's what you hear.
Well, when we get together.
I'll put this, it's funny. I saw this stat. The Lincoln Lawyer. 8 million households. 8 million households.
For what?
Lincoln Lawyer, which is an okay
show.
Oh,
that TV show, The Lincoln Lawyer, yes.
It's an okay show. This 1.2. In what world should a Star Wars show ever be obliterated by Lincoln Lawyer?
None. I mean, yeah, I agree.
None.
And
you know why, right? Because the shows are average.
But also, Suits is apparently the #1 show being streamed right now, and that show is horrible. So maybe the quality of viewership is like gotten too dumb to appreciate any kind of subtext, and they just want Suits and Lincoln Lawyer.
I would say you're right if you could sit there and tell me you loved every single Star Wars show that's come. Not just liked.
I have not loved every single show.
Okay, so then
that theory is
when
it's
because
good.
We know it's
and
crap.
This one episode was better than every episode. First of all, this one episode was better than all of Obi-Wan and 4/6 of Boba Fett.
It's not good. It's just not a good episode. I'm sorry. I mean, I get it. We disagree, and I get it, and I understand why people aren't watching it. I get it. I get it. Because it's silly as dopey. And
let's see when they report the viewership for next week. When they all the numbers come in, we'll see what it's looking like. I think that this episode is going to get a lot more eyes on the series as a whole, and because so many people haven't seen the Rebels and Clone Wars, it'll probably be a nice character dive on somebody that they may not know a lot about. That's what I'm thinking.
But we're not getting any dives, man. It's all inside baseball. Nothing's being explained, which is fine for us because we can follow it. I can follow it just fine. Other people who haven't seen Rebels or familiar with Clones, which is a lot, they don't know what the fuck is going on, dude. They don't.
I'll tell you what.
And it's hard to, Ezra, and who's Ezra? Oh, I don't know. It's just some Jedi. But there's no connection. It's a connection for us. We know what Ezra meant, what he meant to say. They don't get into it at all. It's just she's just a Jedi. She apparently knew. Okay, that's all. That's not good.
I'll say this: this weekend, me and the kids are watching this episode of Ahsoka. When we get together and hear the numbers, I'll also let you know their feedback because they also did not watch Clone Wars and they only saw like 2 episodes of Rebels, so they don't have any real connection. So I love hearing from them. Because they're kids, which is really what the show's kind of made for. It's 40-year-old fans and then kids.
Sure. Yeah.
So
of course,
when I get their feedback, like even my kids, they're like, Quantum Mini was cool, but Guardians of the Galaxy was better.
Well,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
If you are a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old, you could be, Quantum Mini is cool, but
a 2-year-old
Guardians of the Galaxy
would
was
tell you that
better.
Guardians of the Galaxy is better than Quantum Mini.
Clearly, and they can acknowledge that. And my daughter
is the worst of the year.
Yeah, and my daughter has talked about she doesn't like Star Wars. Did I ever tell you her analogy about why she doesn't like Star Wars?
No, I can't recall. Maybe.
All right, and other fans out there, you'll appreciate this. Mind you, this girl's 14 years old. She goes, "Dad, what's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk?" I'm like, "Well, it's a guy who goes on a beanstalk." She's like, "Yeah, but how's it happen?" I'm like, "Well, he gets a cow, he goes to the fair, and he gets magic beans, buries the beans. Beanstalk comes up, he goes upstairs, gets a bunch of treasures. Giant comes after it. He cuts on the beanstalk. Giant dies. End of story." She goes, "Cool. What happened to the cow?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "That's how I feel about Star Wars. I don't care about all the other things. I just care about the main story." Brilliant analogy. Brilliant.
That is a good one.
That being said, I was telling her, you know how you like Mandalorian? Well, Ahsoka is happening the same time as Mandalorian. So that's the only reason I convinced my daughter. I was like, let me show you one episode. And if you're in, you're in. And if you're out, you're out. And she's like, fine, Dad. I'll watch it. So we're watching it. So I will tell you how it plays.
Why are you subjecting her to that show, dude?
I'm giving her a solid I'm giving her a solid episode. Make her
watch something else, too. Come on. Don't do it. That's like child abuse, dude. Come on, bro.
You can shut your face hole.
That's racist and sexist of you, man.
I mean, clearly, she's a female Jedi who's also a person of color. Literally, she's orange. So
that's why no one's watching the show.
Clearly, we're sexist and racist.
Obviously, the world is clearly. I knew we shouldn't have seen Oppenheimer. Um,
She's too old. I mean, she is too young. She's got a little older.
Yeah, I know. But that being said, those are the nuggets for the week.
Guys, this has been the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe here on the Latin Nerd Network on YouTube. Also, watch all the other shows like The Watch List, like Nerdsplaining, like Thanos' Choice. Don't forget to follow social media at Nerdsplaining _ on X and Nerdsplaining Pod on Instagram. You can go to ericdasilva.com, ERICDASILVA. All the original audio episodes are there. While you're there, don't forget to check out my comedy album, Adorably Offensive. It's a great gift for people you love, especially people that you hate. Also, you can check out the comic book I'm developing called Danger Squad at dangersquad.com. Bunch of cool stuff. If you are a parent to nerd kids, or you're just a nerd who likes a good, fun, cartoon-esque type of story, like the Goonies finds the X-Files, this is the book for you. And there's gonna be a lot more stuff coming up. There's, you know, we're just talking about it. Got some stuff to announce hopefully around November. So we'll keep you updated on that. And if you have any questions, let us know through social media. If you like something about this episode, let us know. We love hearing from you guys as well. Once again, guys, I have been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Boom.